Concierge.
Hello, welcome to the Quakes Motel. My name's Conan, I'm the concierge. Today I'm going to show you how to turn this into this. So basically, this is an old school technique that people have been using for years, where you sample an old breakbeat and then you enhance it using one-shot drum sounds. The kind of purpose behind it is, on a lot of the breaks that you'll sample off old funk, jazz, etc. from the 60s, 70s, 80s, it's got the groove, it sounds really good, but quite often if you're going to play it on a big system or if you're going to be using it on a commercially viable track, it just doesn't really have the punch, it just doesn't really have the oomph that you need for it to compete alongside other tracks. So what you would quite often do is you would use the break to get the energy, to get the groove, to get the feel, the ambience of the actual beat, and then you'd enhance it using one-shots. And that's what I'm going to show you today on the sample. Obviously, it can be done on any other sampler. So the original break that we have here I mean, I love that beat. It's a fantastic beat. And as soon as I heard it, I thought that's got some really nice ambience, a nice groove, nice feel, nice top line with the hi-hats, etc. But it doesn't really have that oomph. You know, if you want that kind of Pete Rock, Dilla, Ninth Wonder, People Under the Stairs, etc., etc., Tribe Called Quest, Madlib, Alchemist, all the rest of them, they beef up their breaks. You know, sometimes it works just to have that break. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You could EQ it, you could compress it, but it's never really going to have that real kind of commercial. When I say commercial, by the way, I don't necessarily mean pop music. I mean where it's going to sit alongside other songs that have been released, that have been mastered properly. So whilst I loved that break, I immediately thought to myself, that's going to sound really, really good enhanced with one-shot sounds over the top of it. So I'm not going to be able to give you a magic bullet on the exact sounds that you need to enhance. You need to try and find your own sounds, and it's going to change for every single break. But I guess what I'm trying to say here is, when you hear a break, sometimes you might turn your nose up at it because you might think, well, it just sounds a little bit weak. It's not really very much there. What can I do with that? But you can still take that ambience, that groove, that feeling, and then just enhance it. So all I really did on the sample, to be honest, I had that break in there originally. I go into pad D. I always put my drums on pad D. Now, what I basically did is I went through my drum sounds and I found a selection of sounds which could work. You know, you're not ever going to get it absolutely right. But, you know, for instance, on that break, let's just go back to that break a second. Sorry. I can hear that maybe I want to copy the hi-hat pattern. I'm going to copy the snares and the kick drum as well. But the kick drum sound, I've got a nice kind of acoustic, kind of old school funk sound to the kick already. So the kick that I'm going to enhance it with, I don't want it to have too much mid-range. I want it to be quite oomphy underneath, just to kind of beef it up. And the same with the snare drum as well. I don't really, you know, I want to enhance the snare drum rather than completely replace it. And exactly the same with the hi-hats as well. So that's the whole kind of point behind it. So when I was going through the sounds, choosing which sounds I wanted to use with it, I always had that in mind. I was constantly referencing the beat. Obviously, when you're going through sample select on the MPC Sample and any MPCs, you can play your sequence and you can kind of audition sounds by flicking through them just to kind of get a rough idea, does that sound any good alongside it? Not going to go through that process. It's easy to do. You literally just go into sample select and choose your sounds as you play in the sequence. Easy enough. So what I did is I basically found a bunch of sounds, which of course at the moment are muted, so you can't hear them. Let's just unmute them all. So a bunch of kicks, some snares, all kind of similar kind of sound to them. And I wanted to make sure that I had a nice open hi-hat there as well as some kind of more staccato, shorter hats. I mean, what I could have done is copied that and shortened it and had a long and a short version, but I wanted a kind of selection of hi-hats to play around with as well. And then you've got to listen to the beat. You've got to right over the top of the drum beat and, you know, listen to the beat. We'll just mute those again a second. Sorry, I wish there was a quick way of doing this, but there isn't. Okay, so I can hear that the snare is pretty much standard on the 2 and the 4. The hi-hats are kind of going, so that's kind of what I want to copy. But I don't, like I said, I don't want to take the groove away. I want the groove still there. You can hear the drummers riding the hi-hat. Boom, 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 ah. Boom, 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 ah. So you kind of have to say it inside your head. Dum, dum, da, boom, 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 ga, boom, 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 ba. And then basically what I did is I wrote each individual part over the top of it. See, again, the beat on its own doesn't sound that good. But just by mixing it in with the breakbeat, you kind of get the groove, the feel. Now, when I was writing it, what I noticed is, I have actually chopped the break up, so it is pretty much on the grid. But you also had in-between bits, because I only chopped it up in quarters. So the hats, I had to shift those slightly, which is easy enough to do. Again, so, actually I'm muting it now, aren't I? So if you go into time correction, shift here, you can choose your sounds. And basically what I did is I shifted the hats by about 9, I think it was. I didn't swing it because the drummer's pretty much on point. He's just laid back a little bit. So I just wanted to shift the timing just very, very slightly. And I found very quickly, in this case, it was actually quite easy that I just shifted the hi-hats and everything kind of locked in. The snares are going to be pretty much locked in anyway because it's on the grid. I've chopped it up in quarters. And then the kick drums, I did apply a little bit of swing and a little bit of shift. But again, you can also go into the step sequence and you can find certain points and you can use the slider as well to shift things. So you can, going through it bit by bit, you do have to go through it bit by bit. You can just gradually sync things up so they sit nicely on the beat. And then just as a little extra part, as you know, if you watch my videos, I'm not a massive fan of this compressor, but I am learning to like it. I'm not going to say love it, but I am learning to like it. And it can, if you use it very subtly, just add a little bit of glue. So what I've done is I've just added a little bit of glue, basically. I'll play it in bypass first. And then when I bring it in, you can just hear everything kind of gives it a little bit more punch and just kind of brings everything together. Because what I want to do is I want to create the feeling that those drums, those one-shot drums that are taken from multiple sources, are in the same room as the original beat to kind of give it that glue, that cohesiveness. Cohesiveness? Yeah, that's a word. It's not doing an awful lot. You can kind of hear it breathing and pumping a little bit, which is why I don't particularly like this compressor very much. Quite a long attack, quite a long release, so I don't want it too pumpy. This is one of the things with this compressor is it gets very breathy and pumpy very quickly and you kind of lose control. The point of compression is to gain control over your sound. So if you've got a compressor which just the more you use it, the less control you have, it kind of defies the point. I don't use the color. If you want your beats to have loads of mid-range and just sound a little bit kind of thin, add the colour by all means. But, well, I mean, do you know what? That's a bit harsh. Try it, see if it adds anything to it. If it doesn't, take it out. But on this particular one, it just made everything sound a little bit brittle and a little bit mid-range, high mids. So there you have it. Old school, pretty simple technique just to beef up your brakes. You know, like I said, there's no magic bullet. I can't give you a particular kit that's going to work over every single brake beat because every brake's going to be different. But when you go through your brakes, when you're listening through brakes and stuff, maybe kind of try and have a bit of a vision of where you want to go with things. You know, listen to a brake and think, okay, that brake's not brilliant on its own. You know, if you take something like Funky Drummer, James Brown, there's a classic one for you. There's not really much more you can do to that to make it sound any better. You can maybe beef up the kicks, but other than that, it's in the pocket. It's nailed. It's amazing. You know, it's one of the most famous breakbeats. You know, for instance, as well, Amen Brother by the Winstons. You know, people do beef that up a little bit, but pretty much they leave it pretty much as it is in drum and bass, etc. So there are certain breaks that you will hear that you would just think to yourself, do you know what, that's fine as it is. But there are other breaks that you will hear where you might think, oh, I'm not going to use that. There's no bottom end to it. There's no, you know, it just doesn't, there's nothing to it. Why would I use that? It's not going to give any beef to the track. It's not going to be any punch. Don't throw those breaks away. Put those breaks in another folder. Put those breaks in your folder of, I can enhance these and make them sound better. And the other thing as well is that when you do enhance breakbeats in that way, they're just going to sound better in a club. They're going to sound better on a big sound system. And it also gives you a lot more control in the mixing stage because you can EQ the kick separately, the hi-hat separately, the snare drum separately, add a little bit of reverb if you want, add different amounts of compression if you want, saturation if you want. It just gives you more control overall when you're in the mixing stage. And, you know, like I said, you don't want to lose that original feel. You don't want to take that away. You just literally want to enhance. So that's what I've done here. So thanks for watching. This is The Crates My Tale. My name's Conan. I'm the Concierge. Till next time. Concierge.